Yo, what is up, y'all? So I just finished putting together a little clip of Dave from Preferred and I in the car, me asking a bunch of questions on our way to grab some lunch, and there's a lot of little key takeaways from the 18-minute, 20-minute drive that we had, and I hope you guys enjoy this content. I'm trying to put out consistent content for you guys, trying to be more consistent with it. So give me a thumbs up, leave a comment if you guys are enjoying this type of content. Peace. Until the next one. I was telling them, I'm from the Valley, LA, so I've only been in the Valley.
Oh, so this is like way out of different than what you're used to, right?
Yes, I've never been to a greenhouse, so now
this is a real farm, bro. Like all the weed growers out there's not many like farms. You know what I mean? This is a real deal farm.
Yeah.
We got walnuts. You know, we got it all. They're having fun. You guys are doing some dope shit.
Yeah, I told them, I was like, what you guys are doing is like really good.
Hell yeah.
No one else is ballsy enough to try it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Scared of
it's a gamble, like any other business, anything else. It's a big gamble. It's hard because I know it's just costing them a bunch of money at this point, and time and everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the time they put into creating everything.
For sure.
But I mean, in the end, it'll work out.
Guaranteed.
It'll work out for sure.
Oh, it's on course to be fucking next level.
Because
it's already there.
All it took was one main person to come on, 2-3 people to come on, and everyone else wants to jump on board.
Hell yeah, for sure.
They're like, wait, who do you have on your show? Like, I want to come on your show.
And now the best of the best of the best are on there. That's wild. It's so dope. So dope to watch. I fuck with it.
Yeah, it's my first time shooting with the guys, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah. Usually
You've been in the cannabis game basically. Kind of your whole life, smoking and being involved.
Yeah.
And
I mean, my neighbor, he used to manage a famous dispensary out in Van Nuys, Wilshire Clinic, before the rec market and all that.
Yeah.
So I've always been around it, and then I knew, I was like, what value can I provide to people in the industry? And like, I had a camera, and I was like, you know what? I'll be like the macro photographer in LA, because I know like there's macro photographers here up north, and they do all that stuff. I was like, who can I like reach out to out in LA that I can work for? And, I've shot for Moxie, Stizzy, Wonder Bread, Sea Junkie, like I've shot for all of them.
That's sick. The macro shots, that's not many people can do that properly.
Yeah.
Especially for like dispensaries and such, because like I need that hella bad right now. Like the flower shot, the finished flower shots, you know what I mean? With them is that situation has happened to me too many times at my farm here, you know what I mean? Because my farm here is attractive because I can expand so big.
Yeah.
And I'm a fucking operator. Like I love the shit.
Yeah.
You don't find many people that do it. It's not like a business to me, just a business to me. Like it has to be on point. It has to be clean all the time. Like I got OCD with it, you know what I mean? So it always has to be it. Any issues arise, I attack them, Yeah. And don't get me wrong, issues arise daily. It's just how these farms are, It's
I can just
so much mechanical equipment and everything else. It's like something breaks every day, no matter what. And one of those houses is over 20 years old, so shit's breaking on a regular basis. Heaters go down, big stuff happens. Like the well shut down the other day. We like melted a whole panel.
Oh, wow.
Luckily, PG&E came out here, and they're different out here. It's like good old boy shit. You know what I mean? This is in the country. So the local electrician came and he's like, hey man, I know you're not supposed to be doing shit, but give me some of these parts and I'm just gonna rig it up, because the farm is down. Like we're gonna start losing crops.
Yeah.
So, and he did it. They would never do that in the city.
Yeah, no way.
No chance. It's too much liability.
It's way different out here.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy it a lot.
I love it. I'm trying to get a house out here. Actually, I live in Sacramento. I'm trying to buy a house out here. It's very sought after area. This is the only area that I've ever grown weed in that's not filled with like tweakers and fucked up situations. This is a hella nice area.
Yes.
Like, I'm a dad, I got kids, I'm a family man, and this is like where I want to live.
Yeah.
But you can't really find a house out here.
Nobody wants to sell.
It's all word of mouth. People have been living here, they're gonna die here, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a small community, but the community is tight. Like, there's no drama out here. Everyone's like stays in their own lane and helps each other, and it's pretty sick. I got lucky getting out here, super lucky.
Yeah, coming in, we were talking about, like, you would never know
There's just a cannabis grow in the middle of there.
Yeah, not at all.
Preferred Gardens is right in the middle of the fucking walnut orchard over there.
Yeah,
no one knows.
That's the first thing he says. He's like, this is all walnuts. He's like,
for sure.
He's like, this is expensive to maintain.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
He's like, this is not a joke.
It is, yeah, and it doesn't make money either. Like, walnuts are worth nothing at this point. But we got like organic certified to where they're worth a little bit more. But
okay,
agriculture. That's what everyone worries about with cannabis is agriculture. Always followed on the same road. Like, certain vegetables and stuff were super expensive when they were hot, but then they are like a crazy commodity where there's just so much being produced and for so cheap,
Yeah.
So, and the cannabis it's an agriculture product. Like, the same thing is kind of happening right now,
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because they
Midsy shit.
They
too.
say, like, that's agriculture is the thing that'll never go away, and it'll always continue to grow because there's always more and more people.
People got to eat.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you got to produce more for the amount of demand.
For sure. Yeah.
So the weed demand's going to grow even more too.
Yeah.
As the more we get into the legal and people start like get more comfortable around it, because a lot of people are still like.
Oh no, you're right. Every day there's new customers coming online, especially for like the store stuff, not just like the street stuff. You know what I mean? And that's why it was important for me to like create a brand and be in the proper stores. And I was in the stores for years before it was all medical, but now it's recreational, so people can actually come in, and people that just enjoy cannabis that don't really need it for medical. It's medicine in the end of the day, regardless.
Yeah.
Like people that are using it recreational, they don't even know that they're using it medically at this point. They're like, oh, it helps me sleep, or it helps me with anxiety or whatever. You know what I mean?
They'll find any reason to make themselves be like, okay, I'm doing this for this reason.
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's always a reason. Cannabis is just a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you never hear anything bad about people who consume cannabis.
No.
Everybody is so peaceful.
For sure.
You're not gonna see someone go crazy like how they advertise it, right, in the 70s.
Yeah,
like,
no, hell no. Yeah.
Reefer madness. Like,
it's just getting way more normalized right now, which is cool.
Yeah.
And that's why more people are trying it, and it's not as frowned upon anymore. So like, there's, I have a dispensary. Like, people that buy weed, you would have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, cops, attorneys, firefighters, people that are like almost 100 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
so
it's wild. Everybody.
So everything you grow is for to smoke, or do you use any of it for like edibles or?
Well, I just started doing extracts. Some people, I do collaborations with like my trim and stuff, and they'll make edibles, but not under my brand. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just been flower at this point mainly, and collaborations for like vape pens.
Makes sense.
Fresh frozen rosin and that stuff, right?
It's easier to give those manufacturers your product.
I let it's their lane too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not going to be. I don't really like stamping things that I didn't personally do.
Makes sense.
Like, they have to make it. It's a process. It's another skill set. Like, I grow the flower, so I'm proud of it. I don't buy people's flower ever.
Yeah.
Like, I have a brand that has a demand where I run out of weed, then I run out of weed. That's what ends up happening is I really run out of weed. I'm not going to go source weed from my neighbor because I don't know how he grew it. I necessarily might not trust it. You know what I mean?
It's like not a risk that you want to take either to put your brand on
there's
it.
really no point. It's it's me, and I can actually stamp it.
Yeah.
But like on all those other things, I want the best person. I'm not going to be able to do like a preferred extract, and it's going to be the best of the best of the best. It's just going to be someone who can produce it for me for a profit, but they're not going to be crazy passionate about doing it if it's just under me. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
The best of the best of the best have their own brand. They'll put in on that work and they'll make it like perfect for you, but they have to get some notoriety with that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the collaboration is way better for me because I'm gonna get they're not gonna put it out if it isn't A1. You know what I mean? The guys that I'm talking about, like they would burn it all before they sell it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's their names on it, you know what I mean?
The reputation is also...
Yeah, and that's how I am too. I'm not gonna, there's good batches and bad batches, and the bad batches, might just have to go to someone else, and they can put their name on that if they want. They can purchase it, and that's what white labeling is. They could buy it bulk, and they can sell it. But
no, at the end of the day, I've been to so many grows, and they're like, yeah, this is for white label. We didn't like this.
So many.
Under our name.
Yeah, so many.
And they instead of stop growing it, they still grow it.
Yeah.
Because they grow, the yields are nice and it's a good bud, but they just like, you know what?
It's for someone else.
It's for someone else.
And then that's a whole other business. People like to do that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like to do that, but there's not anyone in the world that has a perfect run every time, no matter what. You know what I mean? So it's tough when you have a brand. You only want to pack the stuff that you personally QC and you sign off on. Like this is it. This is smoking how I need it to smoke. This is what I'm gonna stamp my name on this. People are gonna like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you're a cultivator, you're always gonna have stuff that isn't in that realm. You know what I mean? No matter what.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got a 5 lighter or a 20,000 lights. You're gonna have some stuff that isn't that good. Period. There's always some stuff that just, in the batch that isn't A1, AAA up to your standard. If you have a high standard,
Yeah. And it could be nothing. It's like it has nothing to do with how it was grown. It's just the genetics behind it.
It's just the genetics. There's so many variables, and like something might have broke in the middle of the run because not every run is super consistent. That's why cannabis can't really be like that consistent. There's guys out there that are doing it very consistent, but it's not the exact same thing every single time ever. Every batch is different by some little way,
Yeah, I've had that firsthand.
And as a cultivator, it's never perfect. You're like, this is it. This is amazing, but it could be a little bit better.
So you're never satisfied.
Hell no, you're never satisfied. You're chasing the perfect.
Yeah.
And it's cool to have like super sick run, and it happens a lot now because the way my system is very repetitive and like data driven and everything else. So I'm pretty consistent with the products. But then, like I talked about with the greenhouse, it's season batches. So did you get the summer batch? Did you get the winter batch? Did you get the spring batch? Did you get the in-between batch? You know what I mean? Because they are definitely different. All those batches are very different from each other.
And I'm sure there's people that you might prefer the summer batch, but someone else might prefer the winter batch.
Definitely, yep.
Or the mid-season
and they
batch.
do different things, and people pay attention.
Yeah.
Like there's different cannabinoids with higher intensity light. So like summertime when it is hot, it's intense outside. Some of the weed actually might have a crazy different effect. Same strain, grown in a different time of year. It's very sun-kissed. That's basically, you're using a lot more sun than normal.
Yeah.
And then like in the winter, we're running lights for supplemental, so we're running those indoor lights that the weed is way different under the lights compared to under the sun. But we got the best of both worlds. We can give it a little bit of sun and a little bit of lights. Like early in the morning, I can kick the lights on if I need to, or if it's cloudy outside, we can run those indoor lights, and the plants still stay on point. You know, they're still flowing correctly, rather than having like a full shady day to where it basically stops them from growing for 24 hours, and then they come back. But I love mixed light. It's just, I feel like it's the best way to grow cannabis.
Yeah, some people, you know, you'll hear people saying like, I prefer outdoor versus indoor versus outdoor, and for me, it's like, just give me some great quality grown weed, no matter if it's outdoor or indoor. I'm gonna enjoy it
for sure. Hell yeah.
I don't have a preference.
That's a good stance, because I mean, a lot of these guys are like, I would never fucking grow, I would never smoke mixed light, I'll never smoke greenhouse weed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all about being open-minded and trying to see. Like,
yeah, because a lot of times they don't even know, you know what I mean?
Or they'll
with
have
mixed light.
Yeah,
people are mad confused with mixed light still to this day. So many brands have capitalized on making profit margins. Like the biggest brands in the game have bought, I'm talking the number ones, have bought greenhouse from me and put it into their jars and bags, and no one knew the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm no joke, for a long time. And that happened for years and years. Like in dispensaries, a lot of the best weed was greenhouse, because it was, you know, it was cheaper for the farmer to grow, so the farmer could sell it for cheaper, and the dispensary could actually make a good margin on it. Indoor is expensive. It's very expensive to grow indoor.
Yeah.
Like especially like at scale, it's crazy. Like the power bills are like fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You could get buried in, like, you have one bad run, you could take a craziest L.
I've been to some of the Long Beach facilities.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. Like, I can't imagine.
Oh, they're massive. Yeah.
Just to maintain those buildings, to run them.
Oh, it's hardcore.
Yeah.
Think of how much power and everything that they're using is insane.
So all your water you're getting from your wells?
Yeah, it's all well water out there.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's not on a meter.
No.
And then
just your electricity?
And then we don't run the lights right now, so like you see all the lights in there, none of them are on this point.
Yeah.
And those are what draw the power.
What do you mean none of them are on? You mean like none of them are on for daytime or in the summertime?
In the summertime.
In the summertime.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And in like during a lot of times, to be honest, a lot of times during the day when the sun's high, even in the winter, is if we're getting proper sun, I'd shut the lights off.
Oh, okay. So those lights are mainly on during the day or at night?
They are only on when there's no sun. There's not much sun out. Gotcha. They don't really run at night because we're on 12-12 cycle. But you know, during like the season, like the winter season, there's not 12 hours of sunlight.
Oh.
So we turn the lights on for say 4 hours a day, and the rest of it we use the sun. That's why they call it mixed light.
Yeah.
Because we're using the sun and we're using the light.
Okay, so let's say the sun doesn't come out till 12 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll have the lights on
from 7 a.m. to 12.
Yeah, just to imitate that light.
Just like wake up in the morning, you're getting it's all light intensity. PPFD is the light intensity that we're shooting for a certain number, or like DLI, which is daily light integral. There's a certain amount of light that the plant actually needs to produce biomass, which is like the flowers and everything else. You know, for it to grow, it has to have a certain amount of light. So we have to hit a specific DLI daily to reach what we're trying to reach, basically.
And you guys have like sensors or meters for that?
Yeah, I have sensors and meters for all that, but at this point I have so much data that there's variables outside. You know, it rains one day, it gets cloudy. We're there, so we just kick on the lights during that time. But I have the data for specific times a year that the lights run at certain times only. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So then it's very automated, so we don't have to like change all that lighting all the time, like every day. It's just we have to kick them on if we have like a very cloudy, rainy day or something. We run them for a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty much set. I have a lot of data behind. I've just been doing it for so long, and I've tracked everything. I used to track it all on paper, but now I do have sensors that actually track it, so I have it like on a computer that I can look back if there is an issue.
Yeah.
But at this point, I know how many hours of light I need to run the supplemental lights, and I know all
From all the experience.
basically know everything from the experience. Yeah, for sure.
And you've always done mixed light?
No, I started out doing big outdoor farms up in the hills. This was when like there was no such thing as mixed light.
Yeah. Back in the
And
day.
then I did houses, I did warehouses, and I jumped into greenhouses, regular greenhouses like hoops without lights, no mixed light, so just regular greenhouses. And then I decided to go and do mixed light. I just knew mixed light was the future because I've done it all, right? I've done every bit of it, and it's a mixture of every single one of those. It's outside, you get the sun, it's also in a structure, it's sealed up so the bugs and stuff have a harder time getting inside, and you can control the environment. And then you also have the lights the supplemental lights that you can utilize, and right now we're utilizing CO2, so we have a sealed environment. We can use CO2 inside of the house, so it's a hybrid of an indoor facility, just a lot cheaper to run. It's the future, period. It was the future of that kind of agriculture. I've known this for a long time. That's why I really dove deep into it and just learned how to do mixed light the best I possibly can.
You saw things a lot of people didn't, and you were like, let me take advantage of
Oh,
this,
for sure. Hell yeah.
and let me stick to
I did. I mean, I had some homies when I was doing outdoor. I knew it was something that, because I saw some people had some weed that was fire during like spring, and it was grown outside, but it was in a greenhouse. So I was like, this is the truth. Like back in the day, it was so expensive for that weed. No one knew any different. You know what I mean? So I was like, you grew this outside? Like this is the most sustainable weed you can grow, and it's hitting for the super high ticket, and it's fire, like super tasty, loud. Like the greenhouse weed can have like a really strong terps, really high cannabinoids. Like our testing is through the roof. You wouldn't even understand. People think that it's like weaker weed being grown outside, but yeah, right. We're hitting like 30% on almost every single strain.
Yeah.
Not that I really care about testing, because it's all bullshit, but it still proves that you get very high cannabinoids from the sun and everything else,
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it's legit.